Yeah, pardon me for being in and out. That's the way we are in Congress. Sometimes you got 10 things to do at one time. And let me just note right off the bat that we seem to be having dual movies here. It's, you know, the Martian versus Gravity or something like that, you know, because in fact there was a movie, Gravity. And this is what I'd like to ask Mr. Weir. Okay, you saw, I take it that you saw the movie Gravity as well?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got these threats. It's called space debris floating around there. Don't you think that perhaps it would be a better use of our money right now to help cleaning up that space debris and perhaps even protecting the world from an asteroid or a meteorite that could destroy the whole world? Shouldn't we actually be getting those jobs done before we spend billions of dollars to try to get to Mars to plant our flag and come back?
Well, we already are protecting the world from asteroids. It's called Planetary Defense.
Yes.
And the main way it's done is that we track all asteroids that are large enough to be any significant threat to Earth. And that's already being done. And so we know...
It's being tracked, but frankly, it's being tracked, but we don't know what to do after that.
Well, we do know that for at least the next 50 years, we have no dangerous asteroids heading our way. But yes, if we detected something that was a significant threat, I'm pretty sure this body and your colleagues on the other side of the building would be willing to, you know, put together some funding or something to shoot it down. So I feel confident that that could be taken care of. As for space debris, people often underestimate how big Earth orbit is. To give you an idea of how big it is, it's bigger than the whole world. It's the entire surface of Earth, but bigger. So when people say, hey, let's clean up the space debris, that's like saying, hey, can we get rid of all the gum wrappers in the Pacific Ocean? They're few, they're far between, they're hard to find, and it's just not viable for us to track them all down. What we should be doing is putting in place policies that prevent people from leaving stuff up in space for very long, put it into orbits that will eventually decay, and if parts break off, that they will eventually decay and come into the safety of Earth's atmosphere. And of course, protecting Earth from anything that we've launched is a non-issue because we haven't launched anything that's big enough to survive re-entry and hit the ground.
Okay. Well, thank you. I do disagree with you on a couple of things, but let me note, but that's good. I mean, that's what these hearings are all about, is get different points of view out. I wonder if the panel agrees with our witness that it's impossible that there'd be a rock headed toward the Earth enough to do great damage to Earth that we wouldn't see for 50 years out. Do you think that there could possibly be something that might emerge on the radar screen, like the one that I think just recently went by a couple of days ago?
Yes, sir. There's always the possibility that something could emerge.
Yeah.
And as Congressman Bridenstine knows, if a target's coming right at you in the air, you sometimes don't see it till it's right on top of you. And that could be the case. I participated in a study with the National Science Foundation a few years ago where we did look at the observational capabilities both on the surface of the Earth and in space to track the objects that are out there. And he's right. We haven't detected anything yet that we can track that is a threat to the Earth. I also agree with him that if we did detect something and we had time to do something about it, we would do something about it.
If we had time. That's the big if.
Right, but right now, if you were to say, I want to do a specific thing to protect the Earth against a specific asteroid or any other object, there are so many different types of objects out there, settling on any one solution probably would not be cost effective. You need to know the threat.
Well, let's put it this way. It wouldn't have to be one solution, but at this point, I would like to know, rather than spending billions of dollars to go to Mars, when they might turn around and take a look at the Earth and see a big blip because all of a sudden something had hit the planet, I would hope that we had, and we don't have the plan, even if, I'm not talking about one option, we don't have a plan that has several options if something big is spotted headed toward the Earth. And to spend billions of dollars on what we can't do now, which is what's been outlined in testimony, and giving up those things that we could do, We could have put a plan in place to protect us, and we could have a plan in place that would actually deal with the, and I would disagree with, I think it would be a little more risky than just bubblegum wrappers in the Pacific Ocean. And so I think we should do that. One last question. You were talking about space habitat. Is Bigelow, Bigelow put a lot of money of his own money into developing new technology for space habitat. Is that part of the equation, is what he's done and what he offers? Is that going to be part of the equation of what we're talking about here?
So we have contracts right now under Next Step with 4 commercial firms. You have Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Orbital ATK, and Bigelow Aerospace. So all 4 are currently under our Phase 1 activities, and they have an opportunity to move to Phase 2, just like the others, and an ability to on-ramp also other organizations beyond the 4 that we are currently working with.
Well, there are lots of things we can do in space. I hope that we make sure that we don't waste dollars on things that we don't accomplish anything with. And on that, the witness, the chief, see, I'm an author too, I'm a writer too, we're both writers, okay. And I agree with you totally. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for this hearing.
Yes, sir.